Just this past week, guys, one of the bigger signings in the Fortnite scene, and certainly a curious one, that being Kreo, a World Cup qualifier, and yes, a top performer out there in the Fortnite scene. I would say one of the better free agents available is now no longer available. He has been signed during a time where he was actually banned from competitive Fortnite. Now, we've long talked about this, probably will in the future as well. A time for signing in Fortnite is a very curious one. We've talked about them as an esports, what the future of Fortnite competitive and esports might be. Will World Cup 2 even come or not? We have some organizations letting players go and others picking them up. It was some big signings. Liquid, 100 Thieves, NRG picking up a few people here and there, and now one of the bigger ones, that being Gamers picking up Kreo in a very, I wouldn't even say questionable signing, but certainly the surrounding situations make people question as to why he was signed during the point where he was competitively banned from Fortnite. His ban still has, I believe, at least a few weeks left, but I tell you guys all this, this happens quite a bit when it comes to sports as well as esports. This signing does make a lot of sense to me because Kreo is still a top performer out there. A lot of people out there talking about his controversial past, and you know, he's definitely had a few instances here and there, but when it comes to being a top performer, whatever esport you do play, if you have talent, you will likely be signed no matter the circumstances. I mean, we saw this all the way back to the Hearthstone event. You guys remember this with Blitzchung? He came out on broadcast, was actually banned by Blizzard for a time. That was eventually revoked as well, but during that time he was given his initial ban, Tempo Storm jumped in because of publicity around his name and actually signed Blitzchung while he was banned from competitive in the esport he was competing in. Then we look towards Ziff and Ronaldo, also in the Fortnite scene. This was actually after their ban. They were picked up, I believe, by Riot. Riot actually eventually had to, unfortunately, change their name because of Riot Games. Yeah, that was a sucky thing we talked about here on the channel. But Ziff and Ronaldo, also top performers, eventually World Cup qualifiers, despite the fact they were banned during that World Cup qualification for 2 weeks. Shortly following their ban as well as World Cup appearances, they were also signed by an organization because guess what? No matter your past, no matter what you do wrongfully in the scene, if you are talented enough, if you show that you can actually produce results, as these two can. Yes, they cheated in the past, but I don't think many people are denying they are talented, and the fact they didn't actually probably have to cheat to qualify the first time around before they were caught. Yes, if you are talented out there, guys, despite your sketchy past, even if you are currently banned or formerly banned, it shows in the esports scene, especially when it comes to Fortnite, organizations will take a risk on you, and I don't mean to relate it to such a serious issue out there, but it's such a great talking point because we have seen this in other esports. We have seen this with a lot of players out there with sketchy pasts or bans still get signed because they are still that good. It makes me relate it to a real life case of the NFL, that being Antonio Brown. And now his accusations and the things that he has potentially, supposedly, probably done are a lot more serious than what these guys have done, okay? I'm not trying to make that direct correlation, but you see it time and time again, all the teams who give him shot after shot after shot because he is one of the best at what he does, despite the real-life repercussions of the terrible things he has done. You know, companies will take a risk on you if they see a potential financial gain from you. Kreo has now been signed. He is certainly, in my eyes, one of the top available Fortnite talent, and he has now been signed to an organization. Despite currently being banned from the game he has been signed for, it's because his future potential is so great. An organization is willing to take that risk on him. I still think it's a great signing. I think the signing video was a bit weird. If you guys did watch it, he was actually banned for Storm Surge colluding. He was trading damage with other teams out there in FNCS, or at least one other team, and that's what he was banned for. They hashtag Storm Surge and they put Storm Surge in the video. So they're literally memeing why he was banned from the competitive sport that they signed him for. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of weird. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy breaking down esports gaming news. What do you guys think about this? Signing formerly or current banned pros in esports. You a fan of it or not? Okay, bye.